Welcome to Exposed. My name is Michael Calo, and today this is going to be great. They're coming to destroy us. They are coming. Who's they? I'm going to show you in a second. They're coming to take us out. We have this groundbreaking information today. Gather your family and friends around this video right now if they're home with you. This is important information. I want you all to know we've got to disseminate this video. Listen, it's not for my sake. This is about our nation. This is about our country. And today is going to be a very important day, not just in the life of this show and in your life, but an important day in the life of America. Our research has uncovered lies surrounding the Biden administration and their illegal plans. Believe me, this is going to upset you. I hope it does anyhow, because we should have full disclosure by our government. They should not be doing things behind our back, but yet they are. So here it comes. This is the information that you've been waiting, and we have been biting at the bit to get out to you. There's going to be hell to pay for the Biden administration because of what we're about to reveal to you today. This has been a carefully orchestrated and hidden from the normal public view, but it's been hidden in what I call plain sight. In other words, they announce a program, they write a headline and make it sound like this is what they're going to do, but the underlying facts and data don't correlate to the headline. And that's what we're about to expose to you today. The administration in its entirety, including are talking about our Mayorkas, who's in charge, supposedly in charge of nation security, our FBI, our enforcement bureaus that control the protection of this nation. These people should be not only aware of what's happening, but they should have sounded an alarm a long time ago, because the people who are entering this country are coming with evil intents. So on April 27th of this year, 2023, this is the headline. You're looking at it right now. It says the U.S. government announces sweeping new actions to manage regional migration. Sounds great. And I'm going to read to you just what the article said. The first paragraph says the Department of State, the Department of Homeland Security are announcing sweeping new measures to further reduce unlawful migration across the Western. Unlawful migration? The whole thing is unlawful. There's not supposed to be people coming into our country unvetted. Okay. Reduce unlawful migration across the Western Hemisphere, significantly expand lawful pathways for protection. Lawful protection. How about protecting us? And facilitate the safe, orderly, and humane processing of migrants. Oh. The measures announced today will be implemented in close coordination with regional partners, including the governments of Panama, Mexico, Canada, Spain, Colombia, and Guatemala. Here's a picture that you're looking at right there. It shows a regional processing center in Latin America. I didn't know we had processing centers outside of the United States. The measures announced today under this article expanded also access to the CBP-1 app. Now, this was an app that normally people can access when they're close to a port of entry in order to expedite an orderly process of applying for protection under the United States. Okay. That's not what they're doing. At these processing centers, what they're actually doing is taking information from people. Now, of course, who's taking this information? It's not U.S. citizens. It's the government that wherever this processing center is. So in Guatemala, in Panama, all these places, they have a processing center run by their own government, which is taking information on people, and who knows how this information is actually being disseminated. It's supposedly being entered into data banks that the United States controls. Where is this data bank? Who has access to this data bank? And how do we know that the information that these people are receiving from these migrants is actually accurate information? We don't. They're going to have a new family reunification parole process where the DHS is creating new family reunification processes. And they're doing it outside of our country, in El Salvador, in Guatemala, in Panama, and Honduras, and Colombia. And the whole process here is so that once these people are released from the prison in that nation, they would be automatically accepted with loving arms into America. Come all, come into America. We're going to just welcome them in. We don't know what their crimes were. We don't know what the problem is, but yet it says that they're going to be already approved. Who's doing the approving? I mean, anytime money is expended in this country or outside of this country, it's supposed to be the purse strings are handled by the House of Representatives. Was there anything passed? Is the Congress aware how the Biden administration is actually spending our money and allowing us to bring in migrants that are not vetted, allowing us to actually bring in people, which is against the law. Actually, it's against the law. Okay, our borders are supposed to be closed. They tell you our borders are secure. The borders aren't secure. You're lying. Then they go on to say they want to double the number of refugees from the Western Hemisphere into the United States. So we're going to commit into welcoming thousands of additional refugees per month from the Western Hemisphere. Like we need more of these people. The goal is to double the number of refugees as part of the Los Angeles Declaration of Migration and Protection. You got to read that because that's a piece of work in itself. In addition, the United States is going to accept, listen carefully, 30,000 individuals per month from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti. This is part of an expanded parole process announced earlier this year. Where was this announced? I didn't see it on mainstream news. Oh, it was announced on their website that nobody basically looks at. How many times did the average American go to the government website? We don't. Who does? Foreigners looking to come here, they do because they're told to. So the United States is joining forces with partners across the Western Hemisphere to open regional processing centers all across the land to facilitate access, lawful pathways into the United States. No, my friends, this is not lawful. This is completely illegal and against the law. The first of these centers is going to be established in Colombia and Guatemala. Another lie. They actually already have processing centers established in Panama. How come we're not told about that? It says that they'll be able to make appointments on their phone to visit the nearest processing center before traveling. Hey, I'm planning to, come into America illegally, and I just want to know what the process is. Oh, sure, mister. What's your name? Whatever. Okay, Mr. Whatever. This is the process so that you can have a rapid entry into the United States. These centers are called safe mobility. Safe mobility. What's safe when we have people unvetted coming to America? Nothing. Now, I want to show you a video. This is the beginning of opening up this door. This video, well, let's look at the video first, and we're going to talk. Here it is.
Hard to believe when we heard 160 votes yesterday now, after what we've seen in the past. They said Title 42 was going away, it was going to get better. It's a lie. Mayorkas is a liar, Biden's a liar, the Democrats are liars. Vote number 1. Number 2. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Venezuela. Colombia, Venezuela, and the front was Africa. Venezuela. Africa? Venezuela and Africa. China? China? Venezuela and China. That was 14. We have 15, 16. It's going to be hard to keep track. We're already at 16 and it's 10:05 in the morning. ¿De dónde son? Colombia. It's like they're at Disneyland. They're riding Splash Mountain, guys. This is what we've done. ¿De dónde son? China? Vietnam. We got Vietnam. First Vietnam I've seen. ¿De dónde son? China? China up there.
You see all these boats? These guys are counting the number of boats, and the boats are filled with migrants, okay, on their way to America from different nations, as you saw, Africa, China, Venezuela, all of these different boats filled with hundreds of people. On a daily basis, they counted 175 boats in one day. 175 boats in one day filled with 50 to 75 different migrants. Thousands of people making their way every single day. It's a business. That's right. This is in Panama. I'm going to get to you in a second. This is in Panama. Okay. Now, all these boats, believe it or not, the government, U.S. government, in conjunction with Panama, has helped to supply the boats to these people who now have a job of bringing immigrants. Do you understand? This is the way the government works. It's a cookie monster. It wants more money to spend more money, and it's spending it on things that they are not approved to spend money on. These people down in Panama, they don't have the money to get these boats. These were government sanctioned, government paid for boats with our money. It's ridiculous. And this is all where? In the Darien Gap. Now here's a picture of the Darien Gap. Okay, it's going to show you what it is. It's in Panama. This is a roadless, lawless stretch of mountainous forest. And it straddles Colombia and Panama. Now, for centuries, it's held a reputation of being virtually uncrossable. Even the locals knew it. Even people who were equipped to cross this area found themselves dying in many instances. Very, very dangerous area. Yet, in the first 7 months of 2023, almost 250,000 people, most from Venezuela, risked their lives to come across the Darien Gap on foot. Why? How did they even know? See, we as a government are working with these other governments, and they are disseminating information to their people. Hey, you want to go to America? Sure, they want to get rid of them. They don't want these people there. They're unproductive. They don't make money. They're poor. They're sick in many cases. Many times they're criminals. Let's get them out of our nation. And that's what they do. Most of the migrants crossing the Darien Gap are very poor. In August, Panama's Immigration Service Director, this is his name, Samaria Gazanane, said that between 2,600 and 2,800 migrants per day have been making the crossing. And it's estimated that if this pace continues, as many as 400,000 people will cross the Darien Gap by the end of 2023. My friends, we are nearing the end of 2023, and we've already had at least 400,000 just from this area alone cross into our country illegally. This is the most disturbing information I've ever seen. And yet, even our Congress and Senate are not fully aware of what Biden and his administration has been doing. Now, we got a couple of video clips coming up here. And I want you to pay very, very close attention to what is being said in these video clips, okay? There are many humanitarian organizations. And what we're going to find in just a few minutes, we're going to show you what we've uncovered, is the United States is working with these humanitarian organizations, most of them sanctioned by the United Nations. Okay, so just saying that alone, you should be going, okay, well, we know it's no good for America. Because if the United Nations sanctions it, it can't be good for America. It's not possible. That's what's happening. Here it is. Watch these clips.
$25 is what locals charge for a boat ride to Lajas Blancas. $1 to charge a cell phone, $40 for a bus ticket north. Panama's authorities turn a blind eye because they want to get rid of the migrants quickly. Maria is also ready to leave. Her family has scraped together their savings.
We dream and hope for the best in the future.
Today they are about to board one of the buses. They have put the Darien Gap behind them, but their destination is still thousands of kilometers away.
See, Panama wants to get rid of them. But America, oh, come on in. Hey, welcome to America. And the immigrants in one video that I watched are going, oh, Biden, Biden, Biden.
Biden, 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 Biden,
We should be so angry that this is, how do they even know? They know because their government is working with our government to undermine the United States of America. People from countries like Angola, Eritrea, Iran, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Sudan, and Yemen frequently risk their lives in the Darien Gap because many of these people were on the list of countries that were banned by President Trump and his administration from entering the United States. See, what Trump did for America will never properly be credited to him, because what he did is he protected America, like our elected officials are charged to do, especially when they raise their hand and they swear an oath on the Bible. Well, of course, today they can swear an oath on anything they want. Again, another problem. But when they swear an oath, it should be for the protection of America. Biden is not working for America. For many of these overseas migrants coming to the United States undercover was their best chance to get into America. They gather their money together, most of them by stealing or doing whatever they have to get out of their country. They get an airline ticket so they can fly to Colombia, because Colombia is just an open nation filled with all kinds of thugs and criminals and drug addicts and drug dealers. And so Colombia accepts just about anybody. So they fly into Colombia or another South American country. There's many of them. And they have, relaxed entry requirements. And they make their way from Colombia up to the northern border of Colombia and Panama to the Darien Gap. Colombia and Panama have an agreement allowing for a controlled, coordinated flow of migrants through the two countries. Now, when you hear the words controlled and coordinated, what that means is money. Money is exchanging hands. It's controlled and it's coordinated. Coordinated means there are people in charge. There are people overseeing it. There are government officials. There are military or whatever. They're all getting paid. So that means somebody at the top has got to be getting paid. So our government is paying some other government, okay, to help bring in migrants from other nations through their borders so that they can eventually make their way to America. This is so wrong on every front. The migrants and their names, and it says details. I don't know what details they could possibly have because they're probably lying even about their name. But the migrants' names and details enter into United States databases when they come into these processing centers. I gotta know who has access to these databases. Does our Congress, Senate, are you aware of these databases? Who has control over them? And where are they located? What actual information do they contain? How are we vetting? How do we know what their background are of these people that are making their way to the United States? So this whole controlled flow system, okay, was set up with the help of U.S. authorities. And it acts as and this is their words now, quote, type of early warning system for the United States about the migrants heading to its borders. We know who's coming to our borders. Someone knows, because this database is accessible by somebody in the United States. Who is it? Mayorkas? One of his appointees? Who has access to this database? And how do they know these people are coming? Because it's being entered in countries, in access points in different places, different nations. This is all. How is this happening? Our country set this system in place, and they know in advance what's happening and who's coming to our borders. This means only one thing. Mayorkas has been lying through his teeth. He's been saying, when questioned, okay, he's been before committees over and over again being questioned. And every time it's like, well, I don't know. Well, I'm not sure. Our borders are secure. We need to have, reforms to our immigration system. All the while, they are reforming the system illegally under cover of night. But yet, in plain sight so that they could say, oh, well, we've been doing this. It's all a lie, my friends. Mayorkas has been lying through his teeth, along with Biden, along with the Department of State and Homeland Security. They're all working in conjunction together to bring in these illegals. Why? Why? Because we know all of this undermines. It undermines our safety in the United States. Number one, rapists, murderers, killers, thieves, people who are poor, sick, bringing in all kinds of disease, and yet our own government is the one behind it all, and no congressional oversight. And then top it all off, they're working with the UN. The UN. UNHCR. There's a picture of their website, UNHCR. You're looking at it. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. The High Commissioner for Refugees. You know what he is? Another paid flunky for the Biden administration. See, we know that the UN is not good for America, but yet there are people within the deep state of America, and sometimes even directly in politics, like Biden himself, who are working basically to undermine our nation. And these people, along with the UN, are doing a bang-up job at it. I just hope we don't see any bangs coming our way, because with all of these immigrants coming, we don't know what kind of plot they may have against America. Regional processing centers. Here's a picture of their website. Here it is right in front of you, looking at it. Safe mobility. That's a movilidad security. And they want you and I to believe we're creating safe havens for migrants. Oh yeah, we're creating a safe haven, all right. We're creating nothing but more trouble for America down the road. All of this is clear cut. Here's some more evidence. Now, you have to have some understanding of how the world is actually kind of working together towards removing America as the dominant controller in the world. And we know that Russia and China, Putin and Xi, are working together behind the scenes because of what's going on, as we know right now, in Europe. We know what's going on, like in Ukraine. Okay, these are all people working in cahoots together. China is stretching, doing as much as they can because they know the Biden administration is going to do nothing but slap them on the hands. They're threatening to take Taiwan, and I wouldn't doubt if they actually go in and do it before the end of 2020, before the election in 2024. So, knowing all this, there must be some coordination between China and Russia. What is it? Well, here's a little video. Just take a look at this clip.
Это как раз сейчас перемены, которые не было в течение 100 лет. Там, где вместе двигаем эти перемены. Перекиньте, пожалуйста, дорогой друг.
Amazing. Amazing. My dear friend, Russia and China working together. Why do you think China has so much control over America's products? Why do you think we have placed ourselves in such a precarious situation that when, we need, let's say, for instance, chips for cars. You know what happened? So many cars were being held up because we couldn't get the chips, because China was having difficulty. They weren't having difficulties. They were holding us hostage. Let me tell you something. All of our pharmaceuticals, the majority of them come from China. Why? The greatness of America, and we're allowing China to basically take over? China. I love the way Trump says, China. Yeah, they're the ones. Let me tell you something. I'm not afraid of Putin. See, because the mainstream media is always making Putin the bad guy. Nah, Putin's really not the one to be afraid of. It's China. Why? Because they've got the resources. They've got the money. They've got the exports. They've got the control over billions of people. They've got the army. They've got the ability. They're the ones that we need to fear. And right now, even the yuan is being used by many nations, 5 or 6 right now, that are using that instead of the US dollars in trade. So they're trying to replace us as the reserve currency. And sooner or later, if we don't do something about it, or if Biden remains in office for another term, God forbid, China will be the reserve currency in the world. And the United States will be in serious trouble. Here's another video. Watch this one. Pay close attention. Here it is.
That's what country?
No.
What country?
No.
Why? What country? You from Syria?
No.
Syria. What country you guys from? Hey, why is it a big secret? What's the problem?
No.
Why not?
No.
Whoa, what's the problem? You guys from Syria? You guys okay?
Now, I don't know about you, but for the most part, when people are coming to America, they're all waving and happy and whatever, because I do believe that a good number of the people that are coming to America are just poor, destitute, and looking for a better place to live. I do believe that. Still, they should be vetted. Still, there should be a process they should follow in order to get legal entry into the United States. But my point is that in most times, people are happy to come to the United States. You saw that video. Well, that's not only one. There's many like this, where the guy, and they're all men, you notice. No women, no children. They're all men. They were hiding their faces. They were covering up. They didn't want to say where they were from. The guy was saying, from Syria? Syria? You're from Syria? He knew they were from Syria. Because why? Because before he followed them, he was with them when they got off the bus. And the bus was to bringing people from Syria into the United States from Mexico. Listen, this is all a plan. It's a plot. And many of these people from Syria, we know they're out to get us. They're plants. They're planted here for a particular time in a particular season. What do you think would be the greatest season to use a terrorist? Let's see. Oh, right before the 24 election? That would be the time. They're coming to destroy America, my friends. And this whole plan, the Biden administration, Mayorkas, the whole plan is a coordinated effort to be sure that the deep state, that the left remains in control of the United States in 2024. This is what it's all about. Why else would people be afraid to show their faces? Why are they not answering questions? We should be concerned about every person that comes across the border, whether they look nice, whether they seem to be great people, whether they seem to be struggling or hurting. It doesn't matter. All of this nonsense is happening while they're claiming the border is secure. This in itself is more than enough evidence to throw Biden and his cronies out of office. Now, what we're divulging here today seems like, well, it's just a website. Well, it's just that, listen, when we have coordinated efforts with other governments that do not have the United States' best interest at heart, we have coordinated efforts. The government has coordinated efforts with other countries. That, my friends, is not legal. Okay? They don't have the right to be doing what they're doing. And other countries are controlling the influx of immigration into the United States. It's wrong and it's purposeful and it's done for a reason. He's allowing criminals, he's allowing these people to infiltrate our nation. Why? Because it is done for a purpose and a reason. And maybe to bring chaos, needed chaos, in order for the left to maintain control. I think that the deep state is in panic mode. My personal opinion is they're in panic mode because they see how much support Trump has across the board, not just for the nomination, but even in order to beat Biden. They see it, and I believe they're afraid. Due to the numbers, and Trump is rising, and the numbers of crowds that people are coming out to see Trump, even after all the ridiculous indictments, all the exaggerated claims made in the fake media, my friends, this is a sign. We, the people, are rising up. And if they push us too far, they might find themselves in the most precarious predicament. Because I think there's many people like myself, like you, we've reached the end of our rope. And we are not going to stand for it anymore. We still have many men and a couple of women locked up without due process, all because of January 6th. And now we've got thousands of hours of video, some of which I've been able to look at, thousands of hours of video that show that this obviously was also a coordinated effort by the Capitol Police, the FBI, and God knows who else involved in it. I believe Nancy Pelosi, that's one reason why she escaped out of Washington, D.C. really quick, because she knew eventually the truth's going to come out. All of this coordinated effort, my friends, is to show you that, yes, they can do things this evil. They have done it to Americans. They're doing it now to Americans. They're doing it to President Trump right in front of our very eyes, and most of the media can care less. In fact, they're on the side of Biden trying to persecute an innocent man. And you and I are living in the lap of luxury and comfort. We need to be careful, because if we don't stand up for righteousness and justice, no one else will. So I'm asking you, listen, if you like this show, get on the phone, tell your family, tell your friends. Email us. Let us know what topics you might want us to discover, to talk about, to research, to look into. Tell your family and friends about our channels. Pass the word. Write us a review. Take a couple of minutes. Just write a review. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care. Write a review. Let me know what you think. We really appreciate it. My name is Mike Calo. This is Exposed, the Calo Podcast. God bless you. And God bless America.